Welcome back, guys. It's Jason Pizzino on the Crypto Byte channel. There is the channel. You know what to do. Hit subscribe, hit the likes buttons if you want to see more of our content. So today's video, I'm going to jump across into the market capitalizations, as I tend to do. You're probably getting used to this by now. But I want to talk about the trend at the moment, Bitcoin, and then also what's happening overall. Like, we're seeing a lot of red in the 24-hour chart, the weekly charts, and just trying to pick out anything which is holding its value a little bit better than Bitcoin. So that's the main purpose for this. Let's jump into it. We're at 456 billion. Bitcoin sitting at 11,000, nearly 300. It's pretty much coming back to continue to retest those highs. So this is across to my trading chart. It's testing the highs that we saw a week and a half ago, 2 weeks almost. Actually, probably closer to 2 weeks. The highs up around 11,800 on the Bitfinex. So we're getting a little bit of double top. The ranges are tightening. The volume is decreasing overall, but I still don't see this as super bearish. I think we'll push through these highs and come up to test the 50% of the major range around 13,000 USD. If it breaks through that, then we could see the next highs 14 and then just continues right through. I think this has a little bit of legs in it before we just rest out again. You know, we take another dive back to some support levels. But yeah, that's going to take a bit more time than the previous bull market that we saw. That is a main thing that I want to point out in every video. I'm pretty sure I do, and whenever I talk about it online on Facebook, whenever I talk about it anywhere else in the social medias, that time is a major element. And when you're talking about the market, you've got to have an idea of the time frame in mind. Otherwise, you will make rash decisions. At least that's been my experience. If I'm not looking at these charts in a longer term, then it's easier just to say, all right, it's not working, and get out. I think that's what a lot of people do. At least that's the conversations that I have with them when I'm saying, all right, I think this market has got a little bit longer to the downside. They straight away jump to the defensive and get super angry, and you know, they start to recall all of the Bitcoin propaganda, you know, all the great stuff that's happening with crypto and Bitcoin, and I just simply reply, yes, I agree with what you're saying, but look at it on a time frame. You can't expect this thing to go vertical. Like, it's not going to happen. Have you guys had that experience? Because it is kind of frustrating when people continue to use those same arguments and they just don't take into account what they are seeing in front of them. You know, you want to be blindsided. It's like that. It's like those parents that think their kid's beautiful, but the kid's kind of ugly. Maybe I was one of those babies, I don't know. But that's the sort of feeling I get from these people. They just want to believe, they want to hear what they need to hear so that they feel comfortable, rather than taking an overall view of the market. Sure, if it runs up and we hit 13,000, great, but you haven't made that much to the upside in comparison to what Bitcoin did earlier. You know, it could retrace straight back to the same starting point. It could go from where we are now, 11,200, up to 13, and then straight back down to test those highs at 11.6. Like, this isn't that clear-cut bull run that we saw for a month, where it just basically went parabolically vertical. We had a few quick down stages, but then it just went straight back up. And this is testing people's patience. And that's essentially what I can feel. So we're looking for stuff. Let's go back to the market caps on cmc.com or coinmarketcap.com. Bitcoin's sitting at its, at its pattern here, where it's just testing the 11.3, 11.8 level. We chuck it onto a log scale, and we can see it did it back in 2014, and then it just sort of died off for a little bit. I say a year and a half before we took off again. Maybe we have a period of 2013, early 2013, where it was just, it was kind of a bit silent for a few months before we went for that next run from, like $130 to 1,300 or 1,200, whatever it was there. That could be what we see now. So it's a bit early to tell. I think this next stage of the next what did I say in my post? 1 to 2 months, that's going to be the telling time whether we're going to see this series of events of the market just falling away for a year and just resting. Good time to accumulate, nothing to panic, because like you, I see this as a long-term game. It's not going to die out. It's just going to go quiet for some time. You have to keep that in mind when people are saying that a bear market could be ahead of us. Or we may see the 2013 few months of pain before it shot up again, 10x. Or if you're looking at that bottom, what did it hit in the bottom, around $70 or so, $68, $70, where it took off to 1,200. that's a bigger gain there. So as I said, I think it's going to be these next testing periods, these next resistance points around 13,000, and then also how Bitcoin carries itself along these trend lines. So we'll be able to get some new trend lines in when we get another top, and then we can just see if it's just following its way down, and then it shoots up again. What we don't want to see is it just dive straight through that low that we set at 6,000. That could be some serious. That would be a serious sign of a bear market. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think we'll start to pitter patter, whatever that is. We'll start to just die off just a little bit, and then we take off. So let's go back to the cryptocurrency market capitalizations chart, and I'm just going to bring up a fresh chart here. I had a quick look through it, and there's a lot of stuff that's down. We look at 24-hour chart. Bitcoin's 1.6% down, and a lot of the cryptos are more than that. Cardano is the only one that's holding its value in the last 24 hours against Bitcoin. Ripple 1.9, so that's more. Litecoin's 1.8, so it's more. NEM, to be honest, I don't hear much talk about NEM or many people doing videos on NEM. I don't know how it's still sitting up there. Maybe it's got some good stuff going for it. That would be something to look at in further detail. But pretty much everything else is down further than Bitcoin. Status has had a big run up, 12% in the last 24 hours, but that could be because it had a big drop off while everything else was going up. We keep going. Walton Chain, that did have a big sell off, and now it's trying to make back some numbers. And yeah, we go a bit further down. Particle and Kyber Network. That's about it, really. Nexus had a bit of a run, and now it's taking its time off, so 10%. But in terms of anything else compared to Bitcoin right now, it seems like Bitcoin is the go. As we've talked about previously, Ripple has been another safe place to put it for the last couple of days, but that is too risky for me at this point anyway. So yeah, I don't really see any better options at this stage other than Bitcoin. Let me know down below if you guys are seeing anything else that you like the look of. Monero, as I mentioned in the previous video, Monero might be one that could be a safer bet, or has shown better gains from the bottom than Bitcoin. A few have, but I think Monero has a good reach of practicality uses and stuff like that, which gives it just a little bit more of a network effect. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys are seeing. From this video, I'm saying Bitcoin, personally, I feel is a bit safer than a lot of the other stuff that's quite volatile, and potentially Monero. So yeah, comments down below. You know where to get us on the other socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And subscribe and like the video if you want to see more. So Jason Pizzino here, signing out. Until next time, thanks again for watching myself on Crypto Byte. Take care. Peace out.